Yo, YouTube. What's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now, this video right here is about the pioneering actor, satirist, and human rights activist Dick Gregory. Now, a lot of you all may know Dick Gregory from being on YouTube or hearing him speak on like platforms such as Twitter and Facebook for those who share his videos or who shares his messages. But anyway, the man was a very powerful man, but I have some unfortunate news. He died Saturday, I think it was Saturday night at the age of 84 due to uh, health problems and everything. So he was a very old man, but at the same time, he left behind a legacy and also a memory that a lot of us can cherish and also mimic. And for those of you who's not too familiar with Dick Greg, I advise you to go check out some of his videos that's still currently up on YouTube and see really how deep this man really was. Because when I first heard of him some years ago, I listened to him on and off because I really didn't understand his concept, how he would, like everybody got their own way of talking and directing and basically speaking their mind, just like I do, just like a lot of people do. Now, a lot of people might not like or get the way I do my thing, but it works for me. And whatever he did, it quite surely worked for him. Now, he was a trailblazing comic, and he was one of the first ones that actually performed in these all-white audiences in these all-white clubs, because back in the day, even my grandfather used to tell me that black comedians couldn't perform in white clubs, and for him to be one of the very first ones to perform in the Playboy Club, which is the old Hugh Hefner Club, I think that was in Chicago, and he basically got his gig there. And what happened, the way he got to be the main attraction of the club, was they had this other guy, some Corley guy. He was a white male, and he was a comedian too, but he didn't want to work like the stage 7 nights a week. He only wanted to do like I think 4 or 5 nights a week. But Dick Gregory said that he would do it. So Dick Gregory was basically getting $50 a show, and from that $50 a show, more and more people started liking him. More and more people was coming to support him. But you got to understand, this crowd is not like a crowd that you see right now with the Mike Epps crowd, the Kevin Hart crowd. This crowd was just strictly white people, and all these people, had jobs, and it was a lot of powerful people in there. So they bumped his pay up. If I'm not mistaken, let me get it right. They bumped his pay up from let me see. Hold on one second. They bumped his pay up from just a few dollars to a lot of money. I'm trying to get the exact number so we can really just put it into estimate, how good he was actually really doing. Hold on right quick. So basically what you have is just a guy who was very profound. I can't find it right now, but okay, here we go. It says after the Tonight Show appearance, he did a Tonight Show with Jack Paul. And for those of you all can go back to like the 60s, you remember to the 60s and early 70s, they had this famous guy. Remember, you used to have Johnny Carson. Okay, before Johnny Carson, with Jack Paul, with the Tonight Show. The Tonight Show was a long running title. We had the Dave Letterman. You have what's the other guy with the Jay Leno, the big chin. I mean, so anyway, he basically was making $50 that night, and he was making $250 for 7 nights of work. Then at the Playboy Club, once Hugh Hefner and them seen that people was really liking him, and he really had a gift, being satire and being also a very comical guy. Then added his humor, but at the same time, it was intelligent what he was saying. He wasn't just rambling off at the mouth saying anything stupid. So they basically jumped his pay up from $250 a week to $5,000 a night. In the next year and a half, he made 3.9 million. He brags about that. But it was a guy that many of us looked up to. I used to hear my mom and dad play him some years ago, because he had these old albums and these old cassettes out, just like the old Red Fox and the old Richard Pryor albums that you can buy. I'm talking about the LPs and stuff. And you can actually put it on there, because it wasn't no CDs, it wasn't all this digital stuff. I just remember when I was young. But he also was one of the very first black comics that the U.S. Army also hired, also because he was like a what they call a comedic relief, and he would basically go to where all the soldiers was, and he would just perform like you would see your Kevin Hart and them doing today, your Mike Epps or whoever they send to Jerry Seinfeld, these comics that they would send to perform in front of the soldiers, you know what I'm saying, to help add, just to make the burden a little lighter. They always say laughter is the best medicine. So the U.S. Army contracted with him and sent him all over the country and a lot of parts of the world to basically go talk to the soldiers. That's just how good and talented he was. He had a way with words, and also he can make you understand and feel what he was saying. So not only did we lose a great voice, we also lost a great man, a great elder of, you know, the community of the whole genre of human satire. And that's what a lot of people do not have uh, anymore these days. They do not have people that can actually break the stories down. See, and then he left the stage from his comedic thing. Then he started doing his social activism. That's where we see hence Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all the black leaders that he used to march with. Had him right there. He also ran for mayor of Chicago against Richard Daley. A lot of people don't know that back in the 70s. He also was, I think, was going to try to run for president. Yes, he did try to run for president. He got 47,000 votes. And he also was famous for putting his face on a $1 million bill, saying basically their paper, their dollar bill is no better than my dollar bill. If they can put George Washington's face on it, whoever, why can't I put my face on it? And so he was very ahead of his time, even way back then. And one thing I always liked about him is the fact that he would always discuss and talk about his mom also. That was very powerful. Now, he was born Richard Claxton Gregory, October the 12th, 1932. It's a long time ago because we already, 2017, and I think 15 more years, 15 and a half years, he would have reached 100. And he was raised in St. Louis, raised by a single mother, Lucille, who he always talked about, who did all jobs. And basically, she did all jobs just to support his family, to support the family. And what he would do, because the neighborhood he was in was so bad, he would use humor, against the neighborhood bullies. And he would pretty much found laughter and comedy as a way out of his situation. And little did this guy know, coming from a single parent household, that he would be a world renowned name. See, that's how powerful life is, because once you step into your destiny, like I tell people all the time, you might don't see the vision, but trust me, if you work at it every day, somebody's going to come along and see your potential. Just like Hugh Hefner seen his potential back in the day and got him in the Playboy Club. And from the Playboy Club, he went to the Jack Parr Show. And from the Jack Parr Show, he went on to making millions of dollars a year and been making books and albums, being in a couple movies with people, whether standing or just saying a few things. But if he would have never took that first step to be who he was meant to be, because the guy was very ahead of his time. And a thing that you have to love about a person like that also is the fact that he wasn't afraid to speak the truth. He wasn't afraid to speak his truth. See, my truth and your truth might not be the same. As long as we make that truth add up to what the facts really are, you know what I'm saying? We can stay on the same level. And he would tell you, first of all, that I don't know everything. I may be wrong. And see, that's what I like about him. And anybody that you hear say, well, they know everything and this is the way it got to be, them the type of people you need to watch out for. But he reminded me a lot of this guy, Neely Fuller Jr., which is still alive. But Neely Fuller don't do the humor satire thing, even though some of the stuff he said is comical. But Neely Fuller is strictly old school, straight business by the books, and he'll tell you that he's still learning. I found myself saying that sometimes too, because every day we still learn. You're never too old to learn something new. He was basically doing military shows all over the country. He was an outstanding athlete. Went to Southern Illinois University. Attended summer high school. Ran track. If you look at the young Dick Gregory, you could tell he was kind of in shape. You could tell that he wasn't just no pushover or anything like that. And he talked highly of his mom. He talked highly of his wife, and he said that he wouldn't even take the calls. If you want to reach him, you got to go through his wife, because his wife already know his ways, and she'll either let the call go through or she won't let it go through. Depends on who want to talk to him, if it's for business or whatever else. But at the same time, I didn't even know he was ill. I didn't even know he had health complications or nothing, because when we look at these people like Dick Gregory, the Francis Quest Wellstons, these type of people, we would think that these people would be around forever, because we get so used to people till we just can't, we just can't think about them being gone. That's the funny thing about life, is that you would get used to somebody hearing them from the moment you're born, because we've been hearing this guy, for those of you who had parents and who had parents that was what I would say in the know. Don't mean your parents didn't know nothing if they didn't play people like him, but just mean certain people was attracted to certain things. But he's survived by his wife Lillian. a secretary who he met at the Chicago club, and they were married in 1959. So that's a blessing right there to be married to the same woman from 1959 all the way up to the day you die. That's a lot of years. And had 11 children. One died at birth. So he left his legacy. He left his foundation. He did what a man was supposed to do: come here and set the precedent, set the tone, and live his life, and at the same time be a light to everybody in the world. As simple as that, you know. But I'm not gonna preach to you all. But one thing about it that we do as people, we make it harder. Instead of walking into your destiny and just walking that daily step like you're supposed to, because we all gonna leave this earth one day. It don't make no sense just to catch hell every day while you're here. You see what I'm saying? You will never be great like that. You know how many of them great people that you hear stories about, they just argue at home every day. They didn't try to get up and do nothing. You ain't, if you ain't putting in no work, and if you ain't laying a foundation to become great, you're not going to be great. It doesn't work that way, because nobody's going to give you anything. So rest in peace to Baba Dick Gregory. Baba means elder, statesman, spokesman, stuff like that. And you know, we love you. We'll miss you. You did a good job, and we appreciate your wisdom. We appreciate you telling us about the manganese in the beer. He was one of the first ones I hear talk about the manganese in the beer, stuff that'll make people act crazy. You see what I'm saying? And there's a reason why these malt liquor companies, these stores, not the companies, but the stores that sell the liquor, it's in all these urban communities. It's designed for a reason. He broke all that down. He was talking about the missing planes, and he was just telling a lot of truth right before he left. I'm like, wow, you know, I'm just looking for anything that happened to him any day, but you know, he just kept talking year after year. You know, like, oh, okay, well, maybe, you know, they don't care. They think he's senile. Maybe he's an old man. They don't pay him no attention. But little did you all know, the man was really telling you the truth. That's my whole point. I'm not gonna keep y'all long. Let me know in the comment section if some of you all have some favorite Dick Gregory quotes, or some of the things that you remember about him that impacted your life and make you feel the way that you feel, because that's what this life is about. You know, learning from each other and growing. That's all we can do. We cannot do anything else. Either we're going to learn from each other, or we're going to just be ignorant. So decide. Anyway, it's been your boy Trey. You like, subscribe. Till next time, stay blessed. I'm out.